Welcome to this new Flight Simulator update movie. In this movie we're gonna look at Gibraltar and specifically at the multiple point of interest which have been added to the city itself. You can see already a few of them when standing on the runway right from the airport. So that's really cool to see. So several buoys have been added, and if you look at the I would say world map, it might be even the case that it received the most point of interest as part of this world update compared to other cities in this area. So let's go inside the aircraft. Let's increase the speed and let's have a look. The parking brake, of course. So Gibraltar, right? It was just, I think it was one of the first airports which have been showcasted even prior to the release of Flight Simulator 2020. So it's nice always to take off from this airport. Let's push back the stick. I'm playing on the Xbox Series X using the Xbox controller, so it could look a little bit bumpy. But that shouldn't surprise you if you fly with an Xbox controller, right? It's a little bit difficult in some cases compared to flying with, say, a joystick, which is definitely recommended, right? So if you're using the Xbox as your main, I would say, flight simulator system, then you should consider buying a joystick from one of the vendors which has created a joystick for flight simulator. So here we already see the first few point of interest are popping up, right?
Don't sink,
See,
don't sink, don't sink, don't sink.
one here on the left side. What is it? Normally there's a label here above it, right? In some cases it will show a little bit more difficult. So what we can do is we can go into this mode, which will show us this is Complejo Deportivo. Avenada, Cartagena, and we need to fly to Playa de la Atanura. So it's like a beach or something like. The rest of the city didn't receive any update, right? So don't be under the impression that this city also received, let's say, photogrammetry updates. Unfortunately, it did not. There are only 6 cities which did receive that. Amongst them, Lisbon, Barreiro, Malaga, Bilbao, Casquillas, and Umbria. So this is just, say, point of interest which have been added to this nice part of the country. Playa, right? So that's good. Right? So let's go back to the city, or go back a little bit to the airport, because close to the airport there are multiple points of interest which have been added. There we go. We go to the Nice Tennis Club. You can see that all of them are, say, pointing to the mountain, right? So this is the area where you will find all the point of interest. So I would say once you've switched on the point of interest, it's really easy to recognize, especially if you're familiar in the, I would say, environment, right? Or in the environment, or in the country or city. Without knowing or without even being in the city, right, it can be difficult to figure out what's being added here.
Traffic Golf Sierra Alpha leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Yes, we know that HC wants us to move to a different frequency, but we can ignore it for now. We've got the Colegio Andalusia. And there we've got the Lines Dance Club. So you can also recognize easily, and that's, I would say, the nice thing is you can see that there's a lot of detail here, right? So these point of interest have been optimized, so you can easily recognize them. So the Dance Club is below us.
Thursday Golf Sierra Alpha, did you copy?
So let's make a turn and let's see what has been added. Galicia, that was the one we already visited. And then we continue with Playa de Ponient and Andalusia, which is below us. On the other part of the city, right, if we move over while we're seeing the Stadio Municipal at the other end, we can see the Marina Bay with, I would say, with some large ships. As you can see, there's some large ships being added here. I don't think that they were initially there, so that's cool to see. Also the cruise ship terminal. Unfortunately, there's no cruise ship here, but if you look at the other parts, there are several cruise ships there, including the Queensway Marina. So if you're having, let's say, a ship, you can fly next to the big ships, which are, let's say, taking passengers to this nice part of the city, country. Then here we've got a naval base. It's pretty hard to recognize there are naval ships here, right? It looks like we can decrease the altitude a bit, but it's pretty hard to recognize, to be honest. And then we can see St. Michael's Cave over here. And then the Ludbury Sport Complex.
Thursday Golf Sierra Alpha ATC services terminated. Good day.
King Fahad bin Bouzid Mosque, it's a mosque, and the Europa Point, and we missed one. Which is just below us, so probably we need to make a turn. So let's do that. Nice sunny weather, right? If you would do the original weather, it's, I would say, not that nice. A lot of rain. Here it is. It's on the cliffside, right? The sandy bay. Pretty steep rocks, as you can see, but we don't want to fall off them because they're pretty steep. But a lot of nice details, right? You can see that I would say those mountains are looking really nice and that they paid attention to updating those point of interest. So that's, I would say, pretty impressed by that. Again, let's have a look at the naval base, which is over there. I don't expect that they added some naval ships, to be honest. Let's see. Joystick a little bit downstairs. Also decrease the throttling. See ships with helicopter spots on it, and this is normally where the naval ships are, but I don't think that these are naval ships. I do think that the dock is below us, right? There's a dock where they can repair ships. It's over there, but that's it. Then we can visit, I would say, the last point of interest, which we did miss. I think it's the one on the right hand. It's the
500.
Jacobs ladder. So I'm gonna increase the alt or increase the throttle again.